If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our August 18th, 2024 edition of Open Mic America. I'm Rich Fassler, your MC for tonight's show, and I'm joined by Mike Simpson, our interviewer, and Daphna Ramil, tonight's show engineer. Also with us is Capo Dave Williams, the founder of this wonderful show and the creator and builder of Dandy Hybrid Guitars, but more about that later. Our mission at OMA is to support your local open mics, where you can go to see songwriters performing their original music in person. Tonight, thanks to Zoom technology, we can travel all around the country and see those same performers in their own homes. Without gimmicks and frills, this is the beating heart of American music, the tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. So, get comfortable, and I'm going to introduce tonight's performers. By the way, you can find links to their work on our website and on this YouTube video. So, tonight's show features Shane Martin from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Henry Kaiser from Portland, Oregon, Eric H.F. Law from Rancho Mirage, California, Pat Buckner, all the way up in Canada, Powell River, British Columbia, Mike Simpson from Saratoga, California, Andy Karn from Mountain View, California, John Linker from Everett, Washington, and Bet Paget from Raleigh, North Carolina. So, our first performer is Shane Martin from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Shane performs weekly on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. at a local tea house. So, Shane, take it away.
Hi, and thank you once again for having me here. I always enjoy playing with you guys. All right, 2 songs. the next song, some songs I play with this kind of pick, which is a Black Ice 1.5, and this is a vinyl pick 1.5 that I play for some of the other songs like this one here.
All right.
All right. This is great guitar work. Great guitar work. All right, thanks, Shane. Let me pass you over to Mike now to get to know you a little more.
Shane Martin, good to see you again, man.
Yeah, hi again, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
It's pretty well today.
Pretty well
Pretty
today,
good.
yeah. It sounds the
Yeah.
guitar playing sounds like that. So I got a quote for you here that you may be familiar with. This is from a guy that I know. He's a Nashville guy named Kenny Royster, who's multiple Emmy award-winning guy, engineer and producer and stuff like that. And he likes your music, man. He says Shane is a great singer-songwriter on the teetering edge of country, pop, and rock, where it's just dangerous enough to be fun. What do you think about that quote?
I'm just trying, but wow. I mean, I'd like to shake his hand. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
wow,
you.
that's Kenny. Thank Kenny. Yeah, it's I see what he means in a sense. Although I guess I don't feel as imperiled by your music as he does. Dangerous enough. So I'm curious, when you're writing, and I think we talked before that to some degree when you played just now you were improvising at points, right?
Yeah, there's an element. Actually, it's written. I maybe wasn't sitting quite comfortably and doing something wrong, but everything has to be exactly right for me to get the right sound out of it, or to
Yeah.
play in the same position for about 20 minutes.
Right.
So I adapt to it.
So
But
what I was saying was, when we
there's
talked before, you mentioned that sometimes your songwriting process involves you improvising within a certain chordal or melodic space, kind of a thing. When that happens, do you imagine images? Is there a visual mental component for you?
When it's right, I am not connected with anything to do on this in myself. It's 100% completely myself, so I'm 100% completely connected with myself, but I am not in touch with anything else except for the music. I'm
All right.
involved in it. It's not a physical. Don't have to focus on my physicality. I don't have to focus on what the song is. I just play, and a lot of the times that's where the improvisation within what I've worked hard to write occurs.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Because I've heard people talk about, oh, when I write, when I'm doing stuff, I have all these images that flood through my head. And I was sort of guessing that wasn't true for you because your focus is so clearly on the sound, the music you're producing. So you talked about what kind of picks you're using. How does
Yeah.
the pick choice, how does that affect the music on my end? How does that affect the sound that is produced?
Well, I think it comes across a little warmer and slightly muted when I use I don't know what the material is, when I use the black ice picks, the Dario black ice picks. It sounds a little warmer, a little less. The attack doesn't ring as much as it does with
Ah,
the vinyl picks.
right, right, right.
And it's key with me. Anytime I get any kind of a mark on my pick, that pick's done.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Well, I mean,
And
I use these very chunky dudes, and so when they get marked, I can buff them out. But you probably can't do that on yours. Yeah. Yeah.
I just buy more. That's it.
Yeah, you just buy more. Yeah.
I just buy them
Um,
in bulk.
yeah, I do too because I lose them. The the gig that you're doing at the tea house, what's is that almost completely instrumental?
Yes, it's just me playing my guitar, doing just my music, and I write. I work on songs that I'm writing while I'm there,
Uh-huh.
and I just improvise for you know a lot of the time. I'm just improvising,
Right.
just
Cool.
coming up, just the melody strikes, and I play.
Do you get requests?
No,
No.
no. I mean, I've had them, but I say no.
Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah.
I don't do that.
All right, well, Shane Martin, I hope things are going well for you in Pittsburgh. It's always great to hear you, and I hope we'll hear you here again sometime fairly soon.
Thank you very much. And what was the name of the guy that gave that quote? What was his name?
Oh, you know what? I just erased it, and I know him, but
Fine.
I have terrible
That's
time with
that's
names.
such a story of my
I'll
life. Thank you.
I'll find it and get it to you.
Great. You be
It's
well,
it's
Mike.
on. I think it's on your website.
I don't have a website.
I
Are
found
you
you somewhere on the
confusing me?
net. Oh, okay, I'll see if I can find it, Shane.
Are you confusing me with the other Shane Martin again?
It's possible that I did. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
All right. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
that
Okay.
probably
So
wasn't
that
me.
was maybe the quote, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, it was true of you because you do move across all that stuff. Yeah, this sometimes happens, folks. I go on the online if I don't have a actual website for a performer, like say myself. You go look it up and you get somebody else. Our next performer is going to be a huge example of that. I get like 4 other people before I see him. So, all right, Shane. Thanks a lot, man.
Well,
All right. I guess it's back to me. I can't wait to do your interview, Mike. I've got some great quotes, of the position you play on The Simpsons every week. No. Okay. Hey, listen. Back to music. We've got a really treat here because I had introduced this gentleman, that our next performer, as being from Portland, Oregon, and he is from Portland, Oregon. But today he is coming to us from a beautiful part of the Pacific Northwest. He's coming to us from the West Sound on Orcas Island, north of Seattle. If you don't know where Orcas Island is, go ahead and Google it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area up here, close to Canada. And his next performance, though, after of course our show here, is at the Hillsboro Art Walk in downtown Hillsboro, Oregon, and he'll also be performing at a couple of bookstores Also, he's a part of the Influence Music Hall, which is Portland's longest running open mic, 17 years this September. And this Sunday night, he's going to be at the open mic at Pizzario. It's one of his favorite places to play. But right now, he is on Open Mic America. So, Henry, take it away.
My songs are 3 songs, originals, of course, about family. And the first song is the values we bring into our marriage. This song, the gender roles are a little bit dated, but it doesn't matter. The values are the values that every relationship prospers when they are present. He is a king who stands firm in his faith, in men who use his honesty in everything, who has the strength to try and try again. He is a king. He is a king who holds the helm and guides the speeding ship, who first is true and strong and comforting, who has the courage for his leadership. He is a king who is a man helping the weak to be strong again, who scorns the diadems encircling ring and wears his crown within the hearts of men. She is a queen who is the symbol of the deep, serene security of love to all she knows. She is a queen whose patient strength can bring security and rest and man's repose. She is a queen who wears a glowing beauty seen in her warm wisdom and love's guarded flame. She is a queen who molds her children straight and clean, deserving honor of their father's name. Behold the husband and the wife, within each circle half of life, which in meeting fuse to be unchanged throughout eternity. Here is no mystery concealed. It is life's basic, vital plan. Each strength in dual strength revealed. She as a woman, he a man. She is a queen, he is a king. Here is God's basic, vital plan. Each strength in dual strength revealed. She as a woman, he a man.
Very nice.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
So the second song is now we got a family going, And the song celebrates that whole process. Pardon the 12 string, which occasionally fights. Build us a son strong enough to know when he is weak. Build us a son brave enough to face himself when he is afraid, proud and unbending in honest defeat, humble and gentle in victory. Build us a son whose wishbone will not be where his backbone should be. Lead him not in the path of ease and comfort, but under the spur and stress of difficulty. Here let him learn compassion for those who fail. Build us a daughter whose heart will be clear, whose goal will be high. Build us a daughter who will master herself before she seeks to master others. One who can laugh yet not forget the past, and reach into the future yet not forget the past. Build us a daughter with enough humor to be serious, and yet never take herself too seriously. Give our children humility so they can remember the simplicity of true greatness, the open mind of wisdom, the graciousness of strength. Build us a family with loyalty defined by truth, tradition that retains its youth. Build us a family where all contribute to the plan. With dignity they lend a hand. United we stand, while separate we are weak. Brotherhood prevail, alone we fail to speak. Give us the vision to honor and respect the miracle of love and life we share. Build us a family, build us a daughter, build us a son, build us as one.
Very nice. Very nice, Henry. All right, let me now pass you over to Mike so we can learn a little bit more about you.
All right, Henry Kaiser from Portland, Oregon. who's not Henry Kaiser from around here where I live. And he's not Henry Kaiser who started the Kaiser Foundation and sort of reinvented concrete. I saw all those people as I was looking around on you. I noted immediately with pleasure that you're one of the board members on Influence Music Hall, which
Yes.
we've had a number of people come out of there to play on here, and it's certainly on my list. If I'm ever up in Portland, Oregon, I'm definitely going to see if I can visit that place. What is being on the board of that music hall and hanging in with those people? What does it do for your songwriting?
New material for sure. Broadening the repertoire. Playing with others. There's no band, but occasionally we invite each other into our gigs. And as a result, we expand our own techniques. And we laugh and we giggle and we make mistakes and we try out new material. And it's a community with a great culture. Everybody gets to play. You don't have to be an expert. As long as you're trying, as long as you're, working at it, then we're going to cheer and stomp our feet and say Yahoo.
Do you have a virtual presence?
Yes.
Yes.
In addition to, thank you for asking that. Every Friday night, in addition to our gathering at one of two places where we rent, we used to have our own space. We'd like to again. But until we do, we also have an online version. And it goes and we spin the wheel, and in that format, you get one song and you go around, and then you get your next song and then you go around. So we are... that came out of COVID, of course, and because of that, we've had people from all over the world play with us.
All right.
And we've kept that going, and it's tremendous fun. And sometimes, if I can't be there, I'll do that. Oh.
Very nice. And if I look under Influence Music Hall online, will I find stuff?
Yes, you will. You'll find there's quite a bit of information there now. We've got a wonderful board member, Bill Siebold, who does all of our web stuff,
And that's on Friday nights?
Yes, our gatherings are Friday nights. On odd months, like September would be, we are at the Odd Fellows Hall, and on even months, we're upstairs at the Pythians.
All right.
Yeah.
And the virtual is also on Friday nights?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So,
Well, thank you.
so some of us are saying, I wish I could do both. How do I clone myself?
Yeah. Well, with portable devices, people probably can. Portland Folk Society, is that the name of the other group that you work with?
No, I've joined them as a member, but I haven't played with them. Basically what I have done is I've explored various open mics around town, and there have been some wonderful ones, and sometimes they fade. A person leaves and doesn't sponsor anymore. So I've sort of zeroed in on the Hillsborough open mic. At times we've gone other places and brought our troupe to another restaurant or something like that. We've moved around, but Hillsborough is our home, and because of that, we're in that group of arts and culture that gets grants from the local area to help sustain us. What used to sustain us is we had our own site and we had a liquor license, and that brought in the money too. We don't have that now, so we need donations and we need friends to keep us going, because it does, as you know, cost money to do this stuff.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so that first song, I'm going to ask you here comes a curveball. Are you aware of a middle book in a trilogy written by an English gentleman named C.S. Lewis called Paralandra?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, you absolutely your imagery in that first song absolutely woke up my recollections of that book. But we'll stop there since you haven't read it. Breedlove guitar, it looks like, yeah.
Yes.
12 strings.
12 string, yeah.
Made local to you, right?
Well, this one probably came from Japan, but I bought it here after my Ovation got stolen the night before I moved to Portland.
That's no good. Yeah, well, I know that Breedlove used to be up in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, they do, and they still have an outlet. And I just as the transition was going place, that happened to be one of the last times I was in Bend. So one time, if I ever get back to Bend, I'm going to go in and talk to these folks because I haven't had any work done to this guitar at all in 14 years. And
it sounded good.
Yeah,
sounded real good. And excellent songwriting. Thank you very much for those songs. We will see you here. I know you'll be back. And we'll see you then. All right. Thank you. It's to you, Rich.
All right. Thank you very
do
much.
I have a third song? I hope so.
No. We each get 2 songs, Henry. So
I thought it was 3. Okay.
No, but that means you got to come back and play
Yes,
that
it
third
does.
song.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. We are now going to head south to Southern California, Rancho Mirage, California, where we're going to catch up with Eric H.F. Law. Eric performs monthly at the open mic at the Old Town Artisan Studio in La Quinta, California. He also does a monthly online mini Sabbath concert on the 4th Friday of the month for his fans and patrons. He also hosts 2 monthly songwriter peer circles, one for the People's Music Network and the other for Braver Angels, which is a national organization whose mission is to depolarize America, and don't we need that? So, Eric, take it away.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, my first time. So, I'm going to share a couple songs, new songs, that will be in my upcoming new albums, and my arrangers and my engineer was trying to find a new sound, and I'm gonna pick 2 songs that had the similar groove to it. And this is a song that has been brewing since October last year, and I was trying to find the right voice for it. And so let's see how it goes. Okay. Boxes, we make boxes. How many more do we need? First I heard about 1,000, and then 10,000 more another week. Boxes, counting boxes. Is that how we keep the score? Would another 30,000 be enough for you to claim you've won the war? Boxes cannot fight back. They can't wave a white flag. They just hold the remains of what remains of every war. Can anybody hear the silent boxes as they roar? No more, no more, no more. Boxes follow boxes, flowing down our war-torn streets, carried by the flood of sorrow and driven by a vengeful warring beat. Boxes rest on boxes, put in the ground one by one. Some salute and say they've triumphed, but some declare the war has just begun. Another war has just begun. We're gonna need more boxes. Boxers cannot fight back. They can't wave a white flag. They just hold the remains of what remains of every war. Can anybody hear the silent boxes as they roar? No more, no more, no more, no more.
Wow. Good. Very nice.
Thank you. This next one, as I get older, I'm becoming very personal in my songs. And my husband and partner of 38 years was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease a couple years ago, and it's been going on for quite a while. And this is a song about living with someone you love who is suffering from this horrible disease. I wake up with you breathing by my side. I wonder while you slept last night what part of you had died. I don't expect you to always be the same, but not today. Please don't forget my name. I know I'll lose a piece of you today. Don't know how to say goodbye in a grateful way. Lost your phone, but it's right in front of you. And now I look at you, how'd I miss the you I knew. If only one of us can reminisce, how can I be sure that our love really did exist? Every day I dread rising of the sun. I'm afraid to find out how much more of a widower I've become. I've lost another piece of you today. Never got to say goodbye in a grateful way. As for tomorrow, I don't get to choose what part of you, what part of us I'll lose. I don't know how much more of losing you I can take before I start disappearing too.
Very beautiful lyric. What a beautiful song. Thank you. All right. Let me pass you over to Mike now so we can learn a little bit about you and your music.
All right, Eric. So the first time out for you here?
Yes, it is.
Well, I will start off instead of ending with, I devoutly hope that this will not be the last. I love your stuff. I love your music. Very potent songwriting. I think it's interesting how, of all the topics that folk music deals with, possibly the one that we most associate it with, if we're children of the second half of the 20th century and onward, is war. And you know, you are right in that channel. There's this long channel of potent image use and songwriting for anti-war folk music. You're traveling with giants on that, and I really think it's a song worthy of recognizing as being part of that tradition. I really thought that it's a good thing. Where did the boxes image come from first for you?
Well, I was looking for, as I said, I was looking for a voice, an angle, because people are so polarized. Within my progressive friends, they are divided over this. Israel, Palestine, either or, and I was trying to find something that unified us, and the only thing that I could find was coffins and boxes.
Yeah.
And no one's going to argue with me on that. and I just run with it. And I saw images of Palestine people carrying the boxes down the street, somewhat small ones.
Coffins,
And so it's trying to tell the story from the box's perspective.
Right.
That we make them, we put stuff in them, we bury them.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to be forgotten. And I want them to roar. I want them to be heard.
Right.
And I want to, and the boxes don't want this. So I think that's the best in folk music, is that we went from having to sing between the lines, right, to hitting right hand, war is bad, nuclear arms is bad. I've gone through all of that, to coming back to writing something that will last, which is what I was trying to get at, that this is a universal song of anti-war, which is what I was heading for.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, it does. It makes a great deal of sense. It reminds me of a quote. Um, uh, um, the Gandhi is attributed with a saying. I'm not sure it's his, but the idea of an eye for an eye until everyone is blind,
Blind.
kind of thing. It's right in there. All right, good stuff. Thank you for joining the long line of people fighting against very bad things that happen with poetry and song. The other song, there's a lot that you could say about it. I mean, I could talk endlessly. I lost my mother to that disease, and I lost her years before she actually died. And I really empathize and sympathize with what you're saying in the song. But I think inside that song, one of the most brilliant parts of that is the way you state that in a couple of the verses, this notion that the loss of memory and self for one partner affects the certainty of memory and self for the other partner. That's genius, buddy. That's really good stuff. That song needs to be out there. So I hope that your producers and people do it up brilliantly and that it gets distributed. What's your time schedule for getting that song out?
Well, we just found the groove, the sound, and it was a cross between Pink Floyd and and Peter Gabriel, the slow stuff, uh, and Hallelujah, the Canadian singer, what is his name? um, and we're trying to find that because so many of the song has, in some ways, sad, but it's hopeful. The collection has a song about gun violence. It has a song about the Native American children, well, the First Nation children buried in the school, a residential school. And I tackle issues in my songs. And we were trying to find a sound that brings people in so that they get the message. The music is so powerfully draw them in. I have a song about missing indigenous women, so that's the kind of stuff I write.
Cool.
And
Keep
so
doing it.
we're hoping to get it out by the end of the year.
All right.
We're laying some basic sound, basic track to get each song down right. So right now, but my previous albums, there's generations of how my music came to be produced. What happened is that I cannot travel because of giving a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's, and so I ended up doing a lot of things in my room and on computer, and so I became a recording artist instead of a performing artist, and so I do a lot of recording instead, and so that's where all the thoughts that goes into
Right.
producing it. So
Yeah, it
thank you for
changes.
asking.
It changes how you write, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It
I
does.
mean, I saw throughout the community, COVID just took a hammer to people's notions of who they were as songwriters, and they came down with other stuff. Yeah, I think you were thinking of Leonard Cohen.
Glenn Cohen, correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, see, it's affecting me. His
yeah,
his memory loss is affecting me.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
that was what I found most charming in and important in that song is that that's definitely true. All right, Henry. Once here, you are required to come back because you're wonderful, and we will look forward to seeing you here again as soon as it is possible to do so. And I'm going to send you back now to Rich.
All right. Very nice. Great stuff. We are now going to travel up north. I want everybody get your passports out. We are going to Canada, and we're going to listen to Pat Buckner, who has been on the show many times. Great performer. Pat is from Powell River, British Columbia. Performs at the local open mic at the Cranberry Hall Coffee House, and he recently emceed the Texada, I hope I said that right, Island Blues and Roots Festival. But a different tangent here, very interesting. Next weekend, he's going to be presenting a memoir writing seminar in person in Gibson's, British Columbia. And also, it's going to be available on Zoom for people interested in starting, finishing, or completing writing a memoir. You see, Pat published his memoir, Only Children, in 2019, and which kind of began as a personal memoir about the writing of his first record album, but kind of morphed into a family memoir. So wish you a lot of luck on that, Pat, and take it away. Let's hear what you got for us today.
Thank you, Rich. So this song is actually comes out of real life. It's 50 years old this year. And it was one of the songs that was on that first album, and it's a song that ended up changing my life. On a good clear night when the moon's right, look to the west now, you see the light shining up there in the Bugaboos. Old Jimmy was a logger and a flunky too, handled horses for a survey crew before he made his life there in the Bugaboos. It was 1936 when they first came. Jim and Doreen built a cabin on the plain there in the Radium Valley in the Bugaboo. On a good clear night when the moon it's right, look to the west now, you'll see the light shining up there up in the Bugaboo. Well, they bought 100 horses for $1 apiece. Government gave Jim the only lease to guide that entire Palliser range in the Bugaboos. And over half a section just to call their own, saw 8 of the children grow, the taggarts of the valley of the Bugaboos. We're on those good clear nights when the moon it's right, look to the west now, you'll see the light shining up there up in the Bugaboo. Now the elk, they're thinner and it's not the same. Too many tourists, too many planes, and helicopter skiers, they ply the slopes of the Bugaboos. And old Doreen, she's getting angry, writing letters today, just as glad if they all go away. Let them be there in the Bugaboos. We're on these good clear nights when the moon it's right, look to the west now, you'll see the light shining up there in the Bugaboos. Yes, on those good clear nights when the moon it's right, look to the west now, you'll see the light shining up there in the Bugaboos. Yeah, it's still shining there in the Bugaboos.
Nice.
Wow.
Beautiful, Pat.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
So I'll take you to a brand new song. The world's on fire, now just look around. It's about time that we stood our ground. Liars keep lying and the truth fades away. We need to do more than just get through the day. It's time to answer the call. I remember the days it all made sense. You could pick a side or sit on the fence. No one would despise you or take offense if you dared to speak your mind. Ah, but all that's changed. Doesn't take long till someone screams out they knew all along. How stupid you are, how you could be so wrong. Only fools say the things that you do. But the world's on fire now, just look around. It's about time we stood our ground. Liars keep lying and the truth fades away. We need to do more than just get through the day. It's time to answer the call. I used to believe everything I was told. Before I knew we're being bought and sold by bullies and billionaires whose only goal is to coerce, exploit, and deceive. Well, I see it all crumble day after day. I see our liberty just slipping away. It's all too easy to be led astray by crooks, con men, and thugs. But the world's on fire now, just look around. It's about time we stood our ground. 'Cause the liars keep lying, the truth fades away. And we need to do more than just get through a day. Time to answer the call. Well, we all need to stand up for what's right, for all that matters, and not give up the fight. It's too late to do nothing, just sit back contrite while they steal our freedom away. 'Cause the world's on fire now, just look around. We need to rise up, stand our ground. And the liars will keep lying and the truth fades away. It's time to do more than just get through the day. It's time we all answer the call. 'Cause time waits for no one and we've run out of time. It's time to answer the call.
Oh, yeah.
Great lyrics, buddy. Great lyrics. And good music. All right, Pat, let me get you on over to Mike.
Pat Buckner, good to see you, man.
You too.
Been a little while.
That's right.
Pat is. I'm gonna hang the same medal on you I did on Eric Law. You are a definite folkie. You know, as it says on his website, he writes, composes, records, and performs music in the region. It says, but I think he means the British Columbia region. and organizes online literary events. More about that later. And he writes about Bugaboo too. Was there a single particular spark for the Bugaboo song?
Well, it's funny. I read a story about this old couple in a magazine, Jim and Doreen Taggart, and the Prime Minister of Canada at the time, a guy named Pierre Elliott Trudeau, went helicopter skiing up in their part of the world. And of course, all the press and all the tourists came along, and they were really upset because they had homesteaded out there, and it was changing their world. And a couple of years later, I was traveling on the road. I was about 200 miles away from there, playing in a terrible country bar. And one night, this woman walks up to me and says, "How do you know Jim and Doreen?" And I said, "Well, I've never met them." And she said, "Well, they used to board my horses. Do you want to go meet them?" And she jumped in my truck, and off we went. And I got to meet Doreen. Jim was out guiding. Never did meet him, but then I spent the most horrific year of my life with that woman on the road. You can read all about that in my memoir. But yeah, it was quite something. That one changed my life.
Yeah, I bet it would. Yank you right around. Online literary events. Define.
Well, I host a weekly writing group through the Powell River Public Library here, and I brought some writers and a number of musicians to town to perform, and I'm coming up next week. I'm participating in an event called Art and Words, where they match visual artists with writers, and I'm working with a photographer from Texada Island here, where I'm at my studio. He did this wonderful photograph of a bridge, and I wrote a little piece about it. And so we're going down there to Gibson's to present that. And then as part of that, I'm doing this memoir writing workshop for folks who, memoirs is something that, everybody's got stories, and everybody can write their stories, but a lot of people lack the confidence to actually do it.
Yeah. That's quite a labor of labor of love, It's the idea of bringing the two kinds of arts together. I think is very powerful. I'm glad to hear you're doing that. What's the name of that open mic where I originally met you here, but what's that one that I played at with you?
Oh, I'm not sure. There's a couple. There was Music Matter Showcase. Might have been one.
That's the one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was doing that one earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's a great fella.
All right. So second song.
Mm-hmm.
More perfectly classic for folk music there. I was immediately struck by, well, first off, there's not much one can, as an interviewer, can say about the song that the song hasn't said. It's pretty direct. It's pretty direct. It's more of a right cross than a jab. It's it's kind of right there. But you know what it really reminded me about? Are you familiar with a notion called Gresham's Law?
No.
It's economic law. It has to do with counterfeiting and false money. And his principle is that when you see false money enter an economy, in this case, you're lying and conning and stuff, it drives out the good money. It actually destroys the encomium, of the good money. And that song really reminded me of that. Is that if we heed those things that you're talking about, it'll drive out the good stuff from our head. I have to say it affects me because I've got a temper. And when I hear certain people with an alien life on the top of their skulls talking, I get really angry, and that's not necessarily a good way to go out and, as you say, stand up to it. What do you think about that?
Well, sitting up here in Canada, looking down south, it's easy to sort of say, well, you guys all live in a pretty scary place, but the same sort of thing is happening up here too, you know, with social media, and we've got politicians who are, you know, outright liars, you know, who just working real hard to displace our you know, our way of life and way of being, you know, and it's something that, you know, I'm a child of the '60s, you know. I remember the good old folkies like Phil Oakes and all the protest singers, you know, and it's I remember trying to organize people back in, in Calgary to do anti-Vietnam War demonstrations, you know, and all the hippies sitting in the cafe saying, "Oh man, you know, that's not us, you know, that's not happening here." But it is happening all over the world, you know, and there's a lot of things that we kind of need to challenge, you know, and just sort of stand up and say, "Hey, you know, this ain't right." You know, it's time that it's time that we sort of let our feelings be known, and you know, don't just sit back complacently and let this happen to us.
Don't agonize, mobilize.
Yeah, there you go.
As people have said. Hey, two things. First off, I think Phil Oakes would be real proud of what you've written. And secondly, it's always great to hear you play, and I hope I will do so again soon here on Open Mic America. Thank you very much.
Well, thank
Rich,
you, Mike.
on to you.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Pat. Always great hearing you. So here we are. We are halfway through tonight's excellent show. We've got 4 more great performers in the wings. And you're wondering, how can this show get any better? Well, how about a chance to win one of the coolest new acoustic guitars around? That's right. I am talking about a dandy hybrid guitar designed and built by our very own Capo Dave Williams. I noticed Capo Dave is taking the spotlight away from me and showing you this guitar. They're beautiful guitars, and they're not only beautiful guitars, they sound great. So you can get a chance actually to win one of these, and it's pretty darn easy. So everyone connected with the Open Mic America show, whether you're a performer or a volunteer host, I see Dave, he's got the name. You watch him. You listen to me and watch him. You get a ticket with your name on it if you're a volunteer, you know, a host or interviewer or whatever, and if you're a performer. And your ticket with your name on it gets dropped into the official fishbowl for a drawing held on December 15th of this year. That's right. Perform or be a host on one or more of our Open Mic America shows, and you could win your very own handcrafted dandy hybrid guitar. Now you may be wondering, what do we mean by hybrid? Well, imagine if a good archtop guitar got married to a Martin D28. Their offspring would sing like a dandy guitar. And remember, the more you perform or volunteer, the better your chances are, because you get a ticket in the fishbowl for every time you help out here on Open Mic America. So enough of me talking about. For more information, if you want to get more information on the guitar itself, check out the link at the bottom of the openmicamerica.com homepage, and good luck. All right, so let's move on now with performers, and it is my pleasure to introduce our interviewer, Mike Simpson, in Saratoga, California. He's going to he performs at multiple open mics, virtual open mics, Open Mic America, like this one right now, as well as there's a virtual open mic called Open Mic Corona. And he'll also be playing at the Palo Alto Festival of the Arts. That sounds pretty cool, on August 24th. So Mike, take it away.
All right, doing my best here. This, by the way, is one really dandy guitar. No, it's really a dandy guitar. It really is a dandy hybrid guitar made by Capo Dave Williams. So now you get to hear one, you know, in the wild, as it were. All right, let me get my lyric over. This song was inspired by a moment when I was waiting for my wife to return from China. The cat's on your pillow, we stare at each other. both of us waiting. We sit here together alone. Your absence is larger than both of us present. Both of us waiting, we don't move as much as a stone. Time moves and I know we'll be together again. Silence, time slows to the end. I know you're coming, I hear your heartbeat. My heart is waiting to beat until it's next to you. Cat's green eyes blinking, falling drops frozen. My heart is waiting at the door until you come through. I'm not uncertain, I know you'll come back to me. Cat is wiser, doubting all surety. Time moves and I know we'll be together again. Silence, time slows to the end. Cat's green eyes blinking, falling drops frozen. My heart is waiting at the door till you come through. I'm not uncertain, I know you'll come back to me. Cat is wiser, disdaining all surety. Time moves and I know we'll be together again. Silent, time slows to the end.
Very nice. Beautiful song. Great sounding guitar, by the way.
Yeah, ain't that slick?
I just had to play along.
Yeah, I can't imagine you could resist, you know?
Well, you need to get yourself
All
a
right.
dandy there, Henry.
It's one dandy guitar, right? So this song, on Open Mic America, our charter allows us to play original songs, but sometimes missed by folks is the opportunity to play songs which are not original to us, but are in fact older than 1925. So you can play these songs. K-Boy Dave calls them heritage songs, and I'm going to play one of those right now. This one's at least as old as 1904 and probably a good deal older. wish I was an apple hanging on a tree. And every time my Cindy passed, she'd take a bite of me. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. You ought to see my Cindy, she lives away down south. She's so sweet, the honey bees, they swarm around her mouth. She told me that she loved me, she called me sugar plum. She drew her arms around me, I thought my time had come. Oh, she loved me in the summertime, loved me in the fall. If she don't love me all the time, then I want no love at all. Oh, get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. First time that I saw her, she was standing in the door, her shoes and stockings in her hand, her feet all over the floor. My Cindy is a pretty girl, my Cindy is a peach. She throws her arms around my neck and hangs on like a leech. Oh, get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. I'll get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, get along home. Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday.
Nice. All right, Mike, this is great because I get to.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Yeah, it
That
was.
sure was dandy.
No pun intended.
That's what I was aiming for.
Well, you hit the bullseye. So I get to interview you. This is great. So I did notice your little. It looked like you wished that maybe that dandy had a whammy bar on it because as you finished your songs, you kind of gave it a little.
Oh yeah, that's not quite like a whammy bar. But
No,
that's
it's
just
not.
Yeah, that's just an old time warble technique. It's called a palm warble.
I see. Yeah, more like maybe more like a tremolo than a vibrato. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've seen guys also kind of try to bend the neck of the guitar a little bit to.
Well, that's the other thing. Tremolo, see, is volume.
Oh
changing,
yeah, right. And the other is frequency. Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. Okay, hey, a couple of great tunes here. So, I don't want this to be a commercial for Dandy Guitars, but just a couple of words on how that guitar plays.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can ask me, but you can ask Andy Karn too. He played it yesterday. We were at the same jam session, and he pronounced it very easy to play. And if later you'll have the opportunity to hear one of the very first acquirers of Dandy Guitar, Ms. Bet Paget, who claimed that it plays like butter.
Well, there you go.
I'm not going to have anything to say that would negate either of those. Yeah.
All right. Hey, so how would you describe the genre of the songs that you write? I mean, and the reason I ask that is because I don't know how this happened, but it sounds like most of the songs that I kind of write almost sound a little country-ish, and I'm not a big country fan, but how would you describe the type of songs that you write?
I would describe them as stolen. because I rob genres for different songs, and so I'm not stable in that. I'm not stable in any regard, but I'm not stable in that regard either. That particular song, I've been told, somebody said, "Oh, so you're one of those alt folk writers." And I said, "Okay." And then I've written other songs, and somebody says, "Oh, you're one of those Americana writers." And I say, "Okay." Or they say, "Oh, you're a real folky, aren't you?" I say, "Okay."
That is true. I mean,
what can you say? I mean, everybody has their ideas on what they're doing, and what I think for a brief time, from about 1988 to about 2002, there existed a genre that was recognized called singer-songwriter, and that's where I think of myself as being singer.
But it just to go back just a little bit, it really is in the ears of the beholder, right? Because,
Completely.
yeah, if someone's into alt rock or someone's into alt folk or whatever, a country, they come from that perspective, and that's very interesting. It can sound like just about anything. So the first song was kind of a love song.
To be
Do
sure.
you find those when you sit down with the guitar, and construct a song? How do you do it? I mean, because some people just sit down, they play around with some chords, and then the tune kind of follows in the lyrics. But for that song, your first song, did you specifically sit down and say, "Yeah, I'm going to write this song about my wife"? And
So I'm going to fall back on one of my mentors, who is a Christian folk song writer from back in the 60s and 70s, named John Fisher. Pretty well-known guy. And when he was asked that question on a radio station once, he looked at a guy and he said, "Well, different days, different ways." And that's true of me. Often, I would say, in a percentage kind of way, being a bit of a statistics guy myself, I would say the most common, the mode, average would be that it begins with a lyrical idea. Most often. But some of them begin just because I'm noodling on chords, and some of them begin with a melody or a visual image, or in the case of that song, with an emotion, missing my wife. And I looked over and the cat was missing my wife too, and I thought, well, I should write something down about this, and so I did.
Huh.
The cat wrote very few of the lyrics, but he did contribute, certainly.
Well, I'm sure. Don't doubt that at all. And I've heard you now a number of times, and heard you play your songs. They are much more complicated than a 1-4-5 kind of song. I mean,
not all of them, but yeah, a lot of them.
Do you do that deliberately? Kind of take it off into different
okay,
chord progressions.
So the core of my early musical training was vocal, but when I went to college, my musical training, the thing that I got my papers and certifications for, was for composition and conducting. So yes, I look at a melodic line and I try to take advantage of the harmonic possibilities in it. But that doesn't mean that when I wrote, one of my songs I wrote, that's one of the ones that's been covered by other people, it's straight up 1-4-5.
Huh.
But it's also pretty much straight up country music. So,
well, there you go.
3 chords and the truth,
Sure, it's country, or is it alt country? I'm just asking for a friend.
It's so country that it's before what's called country now. It's back from the old days. It's something that George would have understood,
Gotcha. So I noticed once again you did a heritage song. I've got to get on that bandwagon.
Get on that bandwagon, boy.
Yeah, because there's tons of songs, right? So once again, so to find that song, did you know that song before you decided you were going to do
Oh
it, or
yes.
was it a search?
Oh yes. I've known that song since I was in kindergarten, where we sang it.
Back in, what was that? Back in the early 1900s?
Back in the early 1300s. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I've known that song and listened to the Mockingbird and songs like that back from when I was in as early as kindergarten memories. But that song in particular came back to me, came back into my possession on a CD called Schoolhouse, which I highly recommend if you can lay hands on a copy. Huh. It's got a couple other people, but it's a friend of mine named Keith Little is one of the primary people on it, and it's all the songs from the old Blue and Brown's children's songbooks.
Right.
They've mined those for good stuff, and then you have like absolute top end Nashville pickers playing these songs. It's quite a record. It's really good.
I'll have to look that. What was the name of that again?
Schoolhouse.
Schoolhouse. All right.
As in one room, Schoolhouse.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hey, Mike, great hearing you perform. And I enjoy it when you perform, and you're also doing another task on here, so I get to interview you. So good job.
One last note on the Heritage Song thing.
Yes.
Yes, there's some work involved in searching through the heritage thing, but it's the most fun part of it. Performing it is nice. It's nice when I get the song, put it together. But the real joy is in the research, finding these things. Searching the web, songs written before 1925, songs blues written before, songs jazz written before, and finding all that old, Ella and pre-Ella stuff and, the Schoolhouse songs. It's a kick. You'll enjoy it.
All right. Well, thanks. I'm going to do it. All right, we are now going to stay in the Bay Area, in the South Bay, and we're going to go from Saratoga to Mountain View. That's just a quick drive unless you have to get on the freeway. And we're going to go listen to Andy Karn, and you can catch Andy on Wednesdays at Poorhouse Bistro in San Jose. So Andy, take it away.
Hi, it's great to be on Open Mic America. Let's see, I'm kind of going back in the files for an older song of mine. Let's see, yes. It's called Freedom Wheels. Heading out across the country. Hear that big old V8 singing. Know how good it feels. She's the spirit of the century. Rolling down the two-lane blacktop. Here comes the freedom wheels, freedom wheels. Rolling on, freedom wheels. Rolling on. In the lighted Bayfront Plaza stands a triple earth tone camper where we take all our meals. Me and Mary Ann live and sleep there. And the Metchin spare wheel cover bears a legend, freedom wheels, freedom wheels. Rolling on, freedom wheels. Rolling on. Freedom wheels, take us with you to the land that we were promised, where the weather suits our clothes, heading out across the country, rolling down to the ocean where every river flows. Freedom wheels, roll it on, freedom wheels, roll it on.
Very nice.
All right. This song I played at Open Mic America in 2021, and I'm very sorry to say it is again topical, and so I'm going to play it today. Well, I met a man with a giant orange hair and hair that looked like something left for dead. He held out his tiny fingers, but I just waved at him instead. He pursed his lips and looked at me and said, "Make America great again. So many people we can hate again. Bring back the land of the brave and free. Yeah, we might even bring back slavery. Make America great again. Back to the golden age of who knows when. Women were girls and men were men. Make America great again." Well, you know, this man pretends the voters wanted him, and will execute his each and every whim. Though the people at his rallies might appear a little dim, I've heard them sing this song just like a hymn. Make America great again. So many people we can hate again. Bring back the land of the brave and free. Yeah, we might even bring back slavery, you never know. Make America great again. Back to the golden age of who knows when. Women were girls and men were men. Make America great again. To build something you'll pay to have knocked down. Just be sure to count your money before his chopper leaves the ground. Or when he takes off, you'll swear you hear this sound. Make America great again. So many people we can hate again. Bring back the land of the brave and free. Yeah, we might even bring back slavery. Make America straight again. Back to the golden age of who knows when. Women were girls and men were men. Make make America great again. Suckers.
Oh, will we ever be rid of him? That is so good, Andy.
Well,
Thanks
I don't
for
know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
There's
thanks
no
for
one I
thanks
mentioned in the song.
Right. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thanks for playing that. All right, let me pass you on to Mike.
All right, Andy Karn.
Michael Simpson.
You know, I always feel like I have to do a little bit of a, fair notice. Andy Karn and I are well. He's a great pal of mine, but he's quite an accomplished fellow, physicist, programmer, songwriter, and honky tonkin' fool. Is there any of that that's inaccurate?
Pretty much everything except the fool part.
I happen to know that they're true, but so I'm interested in to what degree you really felt something like sadness when you realized that Maga was going to climb out of your cabinet of curiosities and back onto the stage with you. You know.
Oh, was I secretly happy that I could start playing the song again? No, not really. I would have preferred that no one would know who the heck the song was about. That would be happy for me. But I will tell you that I went to go see John Prine when he was playing at Harley Strictly Bluegrass in San Francisco, and he said, you know, I never thought I was going to play this song again, and then went into Flag Gal, yeah, which I was happy and sad also.
Right.
I'm happy that I heard him play it, and sad that it was topical again.
Yeah. So you write, I think, some of the most observationally based songs I know. It's clear from listening to your whole body of work, which I pretty much have heard, that you look around you see things, and you write about them. Is that fair?
Yeah, but isn't that what other people do also?
Well, not everybody is it as identifiable. So, I mean, some people write songs about stuff that just pops into their heads, maybe stuff that they haven't observed. I know I do, but your stuff seems rooted in reality mostly.
I wrote a song about tardigrades. Does that count as something that?
Yeah, but you'd seen tardigrades. Yeah. No, I agree. There's the whole notion. So what I was hoping to inspire was some notion of how it is that you make the selection among everything that you see in a given day to choose something to write about.
It's when my mind is wandering and it lands on something that sounds like it should be a song. But it could be something, it could be something on the news. I was watching the news, which is very rare for me. I don't really watch the local TV news, but for some reason, somebody sent me the clip. That's what it was, and they were talking about people who called the they called the 22 bus Hotel 22 because there were homeless people sleeping on it all night. And I thought, well, if that's not a song, I don't know what is. And not only that, but I better write it right now because all my songwriting friends are going to write it if I don't write it. So
that's right. Yeah, it's a great tune. Andy has called Hotel 22. Talks about the folks making a home out of a bus ride, that kind of thing. So what's up next for you?
Well, I'm going to take a little vacation and I'm hoping I would like to start performing live again and more often than I have in the past. I don't really have a band exactly, but I know people who are in a band that kind of broke up, and so I'm thinking about talking to them. And then there's people who bother me about recording a CD or the equivalent of that. So I should start working on that too, actually.
I
those
should
are
point
things
out that Andy's desperation is so great that he sometimes uses a second person as a accompanist partner. But that's
yeah,
no,
thank
he's
you. Yeah.
that would be me, and that doesn't qualify as a band.
I mean, if there's no drums, it's not a band. I'm sorry.
That's right, exactly. Well, I'll have to get a drum. All right. Anything else you want to tell the people out there?
I, you know, go out and vote.
Yep. I knew you'd say that. Thank you. Andy,
Thanks,
good to
Mike.
see you here and everywhere. We'll see you again.
Nice to see you, Mike.
All right. Thank you, Andy. So where are we going to go? I know. We're going to come up north here, not too far from where I'm at. And we're going to go to lovely Everett, Washington. And John Linker. John most recently played at Artisan Books on First Friday in Everett, Washington. And he also plays online at Influence Music Hall. And you can also hear more from him at youtube.com/@JohnLinker. So, John, take it away.
Well, thank you. This is my first time here on Open Mic America, and it's absolutely wonderful. I've really enjoyed all of the songs. I should have brought a protest song if I had known. Next time, I will. This, since it's August 18th, this first song, it's only appropriate. It's called 18-8. It's inspired by an interview with Chris Squire. To be honest, I count it in 9/4.
Yes.
Very nice.
That song has several versions. This version I call In a Cafe because it's just guitar, but on YouTube I've got a version that's adds bass and drums. I call that In a Jazz Club. I hope to do a symphonic version or maybe even at the opera at some point. But anyway, of the last 2 years I've been writing, I think, a higher quality of music. In part because I was inspired by a love affair. And if I tell you about this love affair, you would understand the woman I fell in love with was totally inappropriately too young. So and I agree, but to explain this in Gen Z terminology, when she found out I had designs on her, she ghosted me. And a few months later, I zombied her. And then she punked me. Being a songwriter, I just punked her back by taking my impressions of her and putting it into a beautiful song and naming it after her. This is called Ty Lee.
Oh, she'll be sorry about that now.
She was that beautiful.
Yeah.
She is that beautiful, I should say.
All right, John, great.
She doesn't like an old perverted old man like me. Like,
You know, that's the problem, John. As we get older, everybody's younger. All right, let me pass you on to Mike.
All right, John Everett, that was gorgeous stuff.
thank you.
I also learned a new term. I have through watching things on television, I'm aware of what the phrase "ghosted" meant, but I'd never heard the term "zombied." You know, these kids today. The stuff that I saw on your YouTube site was very interesting. There's not a lot of people who you know aren't drummers who have ever conceived of 18/8 time. For example, you have that 18/8. You know, is for the people who don't know about that listening. One way to put it is 18/8 is a waltz composed of a series of 6/8 segments on it, or it's sort of a 3/2 beat. For you, John Linker, there's a thing you could look up. A guy named Richard Henshaw wrote an 18/8 piece called "Twisted Shadows," and you might find that very interesting. He's well off base from where you are. So, how do they come? How do the songs? Do they start with melody for you?
So usually it's song idea.
Hey, let me stop you right there. Have you moved the microphone in front of your mouth a little more?
Oh, so let me actually even
Turn it up, whatever.
that one up a little bit. I'll turn my two down so I don't damage it. At any rate, so usually, two basic routes are most of the mode, if you will. I either get an idea about a song, just a general topical idea. My father was a journalist. A number of you have done. Earlier, the gentleman did. I think Henry was it? No, I forget. And he doesn't show up. The lawyer gentleman did the song Boxes. And so it's you just get a concept idea. Well, I've had a recent one, which I don't mind sharing, even though it's really infant, called Dog Whistles, and that is that you have a lot of sound bites in the news that are designed, just a subtle use of an adjective can change the way people perceive things and stuff. And so, I've been trying to toy with the idea of what is it for dogs to whistle or dogs to actually talk, for that matter. So, that's one where I work on it from an idea perspective, and then I try to look for music that would back it up. On the other hand, there's another approach where I get a nice musical riff idea and I go, wow, gee, what is this really saying? And in that case, a lot of times I can write a first topic and then I'll write a second or a third. In the case of the 18/8 that I did here, I mentioned that was an interview with Chris Squire. Yes, by the way, is my favorite band, and I love really complicated music and all of that great stuff. I know it's not for everyone, but I also do folk and but prog rock is my main genre. And he said, "Gee, we were practicing the song Parallels, and we found ourselves playing an 18/8 time." And I said, "Well, gee, I had to try that. I should see what I could come up with." And so it was sort of a formulated piece, but it just really felt good. On the other hand, Ty Lee and a couple of other songs that I have fit a pattern of arpeggiated songs. So I'm thinking in this, as the winter comes, I tend to stay home and work with Pro Tools a little bit more. So I'm hoping to get an EP or maybe even a full album of material that's more along the lines of the classical stuff that I did today. But then I also have a couple of songs. I have a SoundCloud also, John Linker, if you Lynker, and on there stuff isn't produced very well. I'm not a great producer, but it's my songwriting demo stuff, and some of it's pretty gritty. The song "Why" is about why do we have to die of guns and things like that. So I can go from trying to do this pretty nice song, or maybe even a popish type of song, to one that tries to talk about things that are really ugly and controversial and sometimes even dangerous. But that's the range of what music does. And so, I've been in it for 50 years. I haven't made it yet, but that's okay. I'm not going to stop trying to, produce art and try to have a voice.
Well, you're swimming in a big sea, and it sounds like you're doing a good job of it,
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to hear you. I hope we will hear you again. This was your first time here on Open Mic America?
Yes, it was.
Well, congratulations. Welcome to a wider world,
And I'll try to make it back in the next 6 months or so. I don't get out too often to play out, but
yeah. All right.
As the winter comes, we'll be
well,
back.
Again, thank you for the music, and see you later. Something like that.
All right. All right, thanks, John. Yeah, being up in the Pacific Northwest during the wintertime, you have plenty of time to do stuff inside. All right, I can't believe it, but we are at our final performer for tonight's show. And we are going to go now to Raleigh, North Carolina, the home of Bet Paget. Bet performs at the following open mics: the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh Coffee House and the Folk Project Monday night at the Virtual Song Circle. She's also going to be performing at an all-woman songwriter in the round on Wednesday at Yonder in Hillsborough. And good news, she has a new album to be released later this fall. Very busy artist. So, Bet, take it away.
Okay. This is a song I sang for you guys a couple of years ago, but I have a reason for singing it tonight. My sister passed away nearly 3 weeks ago, and I heard from people, lots and lots of people that I've never even met, but who expressed their sympathy. And I was very touched by that, but I was perplexed in that a lot of people that I work with on almost a daily basis didn't say a word. And I thought, well, maybe it's because they felt awkward. Maybe they didn't know what to say. And so the kid in this song is perplexed with the same kind of problem and comes up with a solution that maybe we all could learn from. This is called First Day of School After Summer Vacation. First day of school after summer vacation, saw all my friends in their bright happy faces, new clothes and new shoes, book bags and erasers. I couldn't wait for our first assignment to tell what we did for our summer excitement. I told of camp, rode horses and shot bows and arrows. I looked around the room at all my classmates. Their eyes open wide, and faces were green with envy. Tommy was next, he cried when he told us I lost my dad sometime in August. My brother works nights, now my mother works double. She says we'll adjust, but now it's a struggle. I miss my dad, my mom, and my brother. I'm lonely at night when they're not at home. I looked around the room at all my classmates. Their eyes open wide, but no one was green with envy. I wanted to say I feel sorry for you, but I froze and didn't know what to do. What do you say to someone who's seen such trouble? I opened my mouth, but nothing came out but mumbles. The year passed by quickly, finally got courage to go up to Tommy. I was so worried the words that I'd say wouldn't come out right. I said I was sad what happened last summer. I hope things get better for you and your brother. He stared right through me and into space. And I thought, what wrong did I do? Then he smiled and softly said, thank you. That wasn't as hard as I had feared. I learned more that day than I did the whole school year. summer vacation. Next year I'll be 10. I won't mind waiting to take my turn to tell what I did in the summer. On the first day of school after summer vacation.
Beautiful.
Oh, gosh.
Beautiful song.
I love it.
Sorry about your sister.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's not really a sad song. It's a song about a sad situation, but a little girl or little kid learned a lot, and hopefully she'll teach others. So, but this next song is a sad song. It's a heritage song, a song that was written by Robert Burns, who was the Bard of Scotland. He was born in 1759. He was only 37 when he passed away, and my dog must hear something outside because he's going to sing for us or speak. But I'm going to try to speak louder than he does. So Robert Burns had several affairs. You know, he was a ladies' man, and this was a song that he had written about a woman named Agnes. He and Agnes were having an affair. Her husband was a wealthy landowner, and he, Moss, go away. He, I'm gonna put him away if he keeps barking. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Moss, no, come here, come on, here.
These kids just won't behave.
Moss will no doubt write a sad song about this moment later.
No.
Well, that could be his song right now.
It could be. It could be.
He was waiting for the guitar accompaniment.
Sorry about that. Anyhow, they were having this affair. Her husband lived in the islands, and they were estranged. And so Robert and Agnes wrote letters to each other. And to hide their identity, she called him Sylvester, and he called her Clarissa. And one day, well, she decided that she wanted to go back to her husband, so she left, and he was so heartbroken. He writes this song, but in the song he calls her Nancy to further hide their identity. So this is called I Fond Kiss. Fond kiss, and then we severed. I farewell, alas, forever. Deep in heart-wrung tears, I pledge thee. War in sighs and groans, I'll wage thee. Shall say that fortune grieves him, while the star of hope she leaves him. Me, nay, cheerful twinkle lights me, dark despair around benights me. I'll ne'er blame my partial fancy. Nothing can resist my Nancy. For to see her was to love her. Love but her and love forever. Never loved, say kindly, had we never loved, say blindly, and never met or never parted, we never fare thee weel, my best and dearest. Thine be like joy and treasure, peace, enjoyment, love and pleasure. I fond kiss, and then we sever. I farewell, alas, forever. Deep in heart-wrung tears, I pledge thee, more in sighs and groans. I'll wage thee, I'll wage thee, I'll wage thee.
Oh, what a beautiful tune. What a beautiful song.
Very well done.
And very well done, Beth. Thank you. Let me pass you on to Mike.
Mike is muted.
Yes, you are. Yes, I said, hiya, Bet.
Hey, Mike.
So, you too own a dandy guitar, I believe. Right?
I do, and I keep it in standard tuning. And I use it when I teach lessons and when I try to figure out stuff and writing out music for my students, you know, so I use it a lot, but it's in standard tuning, and most of the stuff that I write and play is in weird tunings. So
Yeah.
I played it last time I was on Open Mic America, I believe. Yeah.
Did you? I can't remember. Anyway, a quote from your website. Through music, I hope to educate, touch hearts, and help people see issues from a different perspective. How do you accomplish that in songwriting? What is the work to do that?
Can you repeat all that?
I sure can. Through music,
Oh.
it's in the midst of a bigger quote. I hope to educate, touch hearts, and help people see issues from a different perspective. And my question is, what is it that you're doing when you do the songwriting that accomplishes that?
Okay. Well, educate. A lot of the songs that I write or perform have histories to them, and some of them are based on what's going on in the world today, and you know, I think what is going on in the world today is making history. But so I mean, like the song I just played for you, "I Fond Kiss," you know, I'm telling a little history about Robert Burns, and that, you know, might be something that people had not known. And in Touching Hearts, you know, first day of school after summer vacation, I hope I touched some hearts with that song. I think oftentimes we can perhaps change a person's perspective or get them to realize something through music that perhaps they had not realized before. Music is a very emotional thing, and when you add emotion to words, it somehow rings a bell and might prompt somebody to feel something or act upon something that maybe they had not realized before.
So is it fair to say that a big part of what you're doing with a song like the first song is you're providing clarity to a kind of a wild mix of emotion in the actual event you're describing? You're trying to make it accessible so I can, you know, act on those feelings insofar as they're similar to my own. Is that fair?
Right. And, you know, perhaps, you know, next time somebody tells you that their sister had passed on, rather than, you know, not knowing what to say, somebody might say, yeah, I'm really sad for you, I'm sorry, rather than, oh, well, my sister died too, you know. I mean, some of the things that people come out with are just, they don't think, you know. So.
Not to mention the horrors of inappropriate laughter, Yeah. Okay, excellent answer to that question. Do you know how Agnes and Bobby, how do they pick their masking names? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I just was struck by the curious. I recall Burns as being not just the lyricist for that, but the music's composer as well. Is that correct?
For this particular song, yes, I believe he wrote the music. He sometimes borrowed music from other people, but like if for Old Lang Syne, I believe he borrowed music. And he actually wrote different melodies, used different melodies for Old Lang Syne. And his favorite melody was, after he died, a friend of his who was editing a book actually chose a different melody, and that was the melody that we have come to know, should old acquaintance be,
Right.
and that was not Robert's favorite melody.
Do you remember the other one?
Yes, I sing that one, yeah, and it's a little different. It's
Yeah, I've
it's
heard
similar.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you'll have to give us that if you're anywhere around January, with your next appearance here. All right. And anyway, you want to clear up for those who are not in any way comprehending of Scots Gaelic. You want to tell them what I fond kiss means?
Oh, well, I guess it means a fond kiss, and then we,
Specifically, it means one fond kiss.
I probably, and the last one,
Yeah.
in this song, and then we sever,
Well, beautiful selections, beautifully played. What was the tuning for A Fond Kiss?
For A Fond Kiss, it's actually it's Dad Gad tuning, but I tuned it down a whole step. So I was playing G shapes in Dad Gad, but I was playing in the key of F.
All right. Well, very nice stuff, indeed. And I always look forward to, I was delighted to hear that I was going to get to play the same night that you were playing, and I hope that'll happen again someday.
Yeah,
Great
it
to
was
see you.
It's great to
Thank
hear
you.
you and everybody. It's
We had
been
a good night
stellar,
tonight, didn't we?
stellar evening. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. All right. Let me turn it back to the real doers of this.
All right. Well, it's hard to believe, but here we are, the end of another great show. I'd like to thank our performers quickly, one by one, and as I do so, feel free to wave. Shane Martin, Henry Kaiser, Eric H.F. Law, Pat Buckner, Mike Simpson, Andy Karn, John Linker, and Bet Paget. And listen, everybody out there, remember to check our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the music of all of our Open Mic America performers and to find archives of all of our shows. I would like to thank Mike Simpson, tonight's interviewing host, and Daphne Ramil, tonight's very competent engineer. Things are going great. I'd like to thank our audience out on YouTube who may be watching now live, and certainly who are going to watch later on. If you like the show, please spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. You can download and print your own posters from our website and hang them somewhere where folks can see them. You can also get a t-shirt like this one right here through Open Mic America, and also Capo Dave. You can see him. He has an Open Mic America t-shirt. It's real easy to design your own and get it. It's not expensive, and the t-shirts are really great quality. So have at it, openmicamerica.com. Please check your local and virtual open mics. We have listed the ones where our performers play under the local open mics tab on the website. We are always here the first and third Sundays of every month. So our next show will be Sunday, September 1st, same time, same station. Stay tuned for our next full lineup of performers. So at this point, I would like to have all of our performers mute. I think I see they're all muted, and wave. And I am going to say good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.